Greetings to all. Welcome to Fisher Officers Academy. Today we are going to see the daily current affairs of July 6th. So today we are going to discuss the topic of Starmer new UK PM as Labour Party wins the polls. The next topic is at rupees 1.27 lakh crore defence production registered a new high in 2023 to 2024, which comes under GS 3 paper under economy. And our first topic comes under GS2 international relations, and women get only 7% MSME credit RBI ED. This topic comes under GS2 social justice. And next topic, the migrants face abuse and violence crossing Africa UN report. So it comes under GS2 IR. Liang Karampuang cave, we have to know under the location for prelims perspective. Next we are going to discuss about editorial analysis, and finally we are going to see the mapping. So these are all the topics we are going to discuss today. Our first topic is about Starmer new UK PM as Labour Party wins the polls. First we have to know about this. The UK Labour Party led by Keir Starmer won a landslide victory in July 4 general election, while the Conservative Party led by Rishi Sunak suffered significant losses. This election marks a major political shift, ending 14 years of Conservative governance and ushering in Starmer as the new Prime Minister. King Charles III appointed Keir Starmer as the UK's 58th Prime Minister. So, in this we have to know about the British Prime Minister versus the Indian Prime Minister. The British Prime Minister appointed by the monarch, typically the leader of the majority party of the House of Commons. Under the constitutional basis, it is evolved from conventions and status, not from a single written constitution. The powers heads the executive, oversee the civil service, appoints ministers, and set government policies. The removal can be done by a vote of no confidence in the House of Commons. Now we have to see about Indian Prime Minister. The appointment by the President, typically the leader of the majority party in the Lok Sabha, that is the House of People. Under the constitutional basis, it is defined by the Constitution of India, particularly in Article 74 and 75. The powers heads by the Council of Ministers, advises the President, and implements government policy. The removal can be removed by an vote of no confidence in the Lok Sabha. Now, what are the key differences? Head of the state rule. The British PM is formally appointed by the monarch, while the Indian PM is appointed by the President. In constitutional framework, the British PM's role is based on conventions, while in India, PM role is constitutionally defined. The legislative context. The British PM operates in a parliamentary system without a single written constitution, while the Indian PM operates with a defined constitutional framework. With this, we have to know about the previous question which have been asked in prelims. Consider the following statements. The executive power of the Union of India is vested in the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is ex officio chairman of Civil Service Board. Which of the statement is given above is correct? The answer is D. Neither one nor two. So this both are wrong. So we'll move on to our next topic. Our next topic is at rupees 1.27 lakh crore defense production registered a new high in 2023 to 24. Now we have to know about this. India's defense production reached a record of more than 1 lakh crore in financial year 2023 to 24 at 16.7% increase, driven by policy reforms and Make in India initiative. Here, defense exports also hit a high, growing over the previous year. Defense public sector undertakings, other PSUs and private companies contributed to this growth. DPSUs and other PSUs accounted for 79.2% of the total value of production, while the private sector contributed 20.8%. The increasing in defense production is attributed to government policy reforms, initiatives, and improved ease of doing business over the past decade. Defense Minister highlighted the success of the Make in India program and reaffirmed the government commitment to developing India as a leading global defense manufacturing hub. Defense exports also saw significant growth and increases from 15,920 crore in the previous fiscal year. Over the past 5 years, the value of defense production in India has grown by over 60%, demonstrating a steady increase. The ministry noted that the rise in defense exports has significantly contributed to overall growth in indigenous defense production. For this, we have to know about the previous year question which have been asked in prelims 2012. What are the recent policy initiatives of government of India to promote growth of manufacturing sector? The first point is setting up a national investment and manufacturing zones. Next, providing the benefit of single window clearance. Next, establishing the technology acquisition and development fund. The answer is D. So all these three statements are correct. Now we'll move on to the next topic. Women get only 7% of MSME credit, which says by RBI ED. Here, Neeraj Nigam, the RBI Executive Director, highlighted challenges of low female labor force participation and limited credit access for women-led MSMEs, underscoring barriers to economic growth and financial inclusion in India. Female labor force participation in financial year 2022 was, it is 20, sorry, it is 32.8%, significantly lower than men's over 77%. Women led 20% of MSME, yet they receive only 7% of outstanding credit allocated to the sector. Nigam emphasized the need of increased credit supply to women-led business to enhance their economic participation and development. His remarks were made at Financing Women collaborative event organized by Niti Aayog and TransUnion CIBIL. Under this topic, we'll see the previous year question which have been asked in prelims 2017. Which of the following gives Global Gender Gap Index ranking the countries the world? First, World Economic Forum, UN Human Rights Council, UN Women, World Health Organization. The answer is World Economic Forum. So, now we'll move on to the next topic. Migrants face abuse and violence crossing the Africa, says by the UN report. The UN-backed report highlights dire risk faced by refugees and migrants traveling across Africa to reach Mediterranean, documenting high death rates in Sahara Desert and prevalent abuse including violence, trafficking and exploitation. Over the past decade, nearly 30,000 deaths and disappearances have been recorded in attempts to reach Europe via the Mediterranean. Crossing the Sahara Desert from January 2020 to May 2024 claimed 1,180 lives, averaging 5 deaths daily due to harsh conditions. Travelers encountered torture, kidnapping, human trafficking, sexual violence, robbery, detention, and forced explosions. Despite these dangers, there has been an increasing in attempts to cross these perilous land routes. The report emphasizes the urgent need for enhanced protection measures along these routes to address the widespread abuses. Vincent Cocktail of UNHCR stressed the focus on finding protection solutions rather than facilitating movement, aiming to mitigate the suffering endured by refugees and migrants. Now, what are the reasons for migration from Africa to the Mediterranean? First reason is conflict and instability. So many migrants flee regions affected by armed conflict, political instability, and persecution, seeking safety and security. The next is economic hardship. In economic hardship, economic factors such as poverty, lack of job opportunities, and limited access to resources driven individuals to seek better livelihoods in abroad. The next is environmental challenges. In environmental challenges, we could find climate change's impacts, including droughts, desertification, and food insecurity, force communities to migrate in search of sustainable living conditions. Next, humanitarian crisis. Under this, the natural disasters, famines, and health crises exacerbate living conditions, prompting people to seek refuge and assistance in more stable regions. Next is social and political factors. So, discrimination, lack of rights, and limited access to education and healthcare motive individuals to migrate in search of better social and political environments. So, that's all from this topic. Our next topic is about Liang Kanpuang Cave. So, a painting created at least 51,200 years ago was discovered in a limestone cave of Liang Karampung in the Maros Pangkeng region of Indonesia island. In which region? Maros Pangkeng in Indonesia island. So, it is a limestone cave located on the Indonesian island of Sulawesi. So, a scene of human interacting with the pig painted on a cave wall is in a found in cave. The scene dominated by a representation of a pig that is standing upright along with three smaller human-like figures is painting in a single shade of dark red pigment. One figure seems to be holding an object near the pig's throat, another is directly above the pig's head in an upside down position with legs played out. The third figure is large and gradier in appearance than the others. It is holding an undefined object and is possibly wearing an elaborate headdresses. The painting presents the cave paintings of Europe, which is at El Castillo in Spain, dating to about 40,800 years ago. The researchers interpreted the painting as a narrative scene, which they said would make it an oldest known evidence of storytelling in art. The earliest Sulwesi rock art is not simple, it is quite advanced and shows the mental capacity of people at that time. So, that's all from this topic. Our next topic is about we are going to discuss the editorial analysis. The topic of this is spiritual orientation, religious practice, and quotes. This is the topic we are going to discuss. So, the article discussed a controversial Madras High Court ruling allowing the religious practice of Anga Pradakshanam, highlighting debates on religious freedoms, judicial consistency, and constitutional principles in India legal landscape. The aspect of religion is what is religion to one, superstition to another, said Chief Justice Lathman of Australia in Adelaide Company of Jehovah's Witness Inquest Commonwealth in 1943. Religion has been at the center of human societal existence since the time immemorial. Man is incurable religious, Indians more so. Right now, we are in rush hour of God with religiosity on the rise and spirituality on the decline. In a significant yet controversial order, P. Navin Kumar in 2024 by Justice G. R. Swaminathan of the Madras High Court, the religious practice of Anga Pradakshanam has been allowed. The practice involves rolling over the banana leaves on which other devotees of Sri Sadashiva Brahmendra of Nehru village in Tamil Nadu had partaken food. The order overruled the 2015 order of Justice S. Manikumar. In 2015, the petitioner had argued that the practice involved Dalits and non-Brahmins rolling over on leftover plantain leaves, even though the district administration had disputed the allegation of caste discrimination. Justice Manikumar had relied on Supreme Court of India order in state of Karnataka and others versus Adivasi Budakkattu, where the top court have been stated 500-year-old ritual on similar lines where mainly Dalits used to roll over the leaves. Moreover, not only Dalits but even others to roll over the leaves, and thus no caste discrimination was there. Now, what is the revival of debate? The order has survived the debate on issues such as what is religion, how essential practices of any religion are to be determined, and how far the judiciary can be consistent in such determination. Supreme Court to reach the conclusion that petitioner P. Navin Kumar, who has taken a vow of Anga Pradakshinam and is entitled to execute it as a part of his freedom of religion under Article 25 and right to privacy under Article 21 and human dignity, is in no way underdetermined by such practice. He even held that rolling over on used banana leaves is part of the freedom of movement under Article 19, Class 1 and D. Thus, like other cases, no questions were being asked whether it is an essential and integral practice of Hindu religion, whether it is mandatory practice and not mere superstitious practice. He has quoted the Krishna Yajurveda and other Puranas which describe this practice as noble act, but every noble act cannot get the high status as a mandatory act. The farmers of the Indian constitution have subordinated the freedom of religion to all other fundamental rights. It has further been subjected to public order, health, and mortality, with additional powers being given to the state to bring in social reforms. The court have further restricted the freedom to only the essential religious practices. The leading Supreme Court judgment on the freedom of religion was Sri Shirur Math in 1954, where the court had observed that Article 25 guarantees freedom not only to entertain such religious belief as may be approved by one's judgment and conscience, but also to exhibit his belief in such outward acts he thinks proper. Balancing religious freedoms with societal interests and constitutional values remains a critical challenge for Indian judiciary. The debate sparked by Justice Swaminathan's ruling underscores the ongoing evolution and complexity in defining and protecting essential religious practices with secular constitutional framework. Now, with this, we have to know about what is the practice of Anga Pradakshinam. Anga Pradakshina is a religious practice observed in some Hindu traditions, notably at the Sri Sadashiva Brahmetra temple in Tamil Nadu. It involves devotees rolling over the banana leaves that were previously used by others to consume food. This act is believed to be a form of reverence and purification. Recently permitted by the Madras High Court, the practice has sparked debates on this religious significance, hygiene concerns, and compatibility with constitutional rights in India. Now, with this, we have to know about Durga Committee Ajmer case in 1961. In the landmark case, the Durga Committee Ajmer, the Supreme Court of India ruled that Article 25 protects only essential and integral religious practice and not those stemming from the superstitious beliefs. The judgment emphasized determining essential practice based on the core tenets of the religion itself, marking a pivotal moment in defining the scope of religious freedoms under the Indian Constitution. So that's all from the editorial analysis. Now we'll see the mapping topic. In mapping, we are going to see the national waterways in India. India has over 1,04,500 kilometers of waters that can be navigated, which accounts only for about 1% of country's transportation. This includes canal backwards rivers and creeks amongst many other types of water bodies. However, these inland waterways have been unutilized as compared to other countries in the world. Around 3,700 kilometers of major rivers are navigable by mechanized flat bottom vessels. However, at present only 2,000 kilometers are actually used. Only 900 kilometers out of 4,800 kilometers of the navigable canal is used by mechanized vessels. National Waterways Act came into the effect in the year 2016. It proposed 106 additional national waterways and merges 5 existing acts which were declared the 5 national waterways. As a result of 106 waterways were identified by EY and intimated to MOS, the Inland Waterways Authority of India. that is IWAI, is responsible for the timely execution of a national waterways project and to ensure improve water transport in India. Under the National Waterways Act 2016, 111 inland waterways, including 5 national waterways in India declared earlier, have been declared as the national waterways. Now, what is the Inland Waterways Authority of India? This body was created by the government of India in the year 1986 for regulating and developing inland waterways for shipping and navigation. The body chiefly undertakes development and maintenance projects of IWT infrastructure on national waterways. It undertakes these projects through grants from the Shipping Ministry. Its headquarters is in Noida. It also has regional offices in various other cities and towns across the country. Now, we'll see the National Waterways 1. It starts from Allahabad, Pragyaraj from here, and it travels to this way till Haldia with distance of 1620 km. This National Waterways 1 run through the Ganges, Bhagirathi and Hooghly river system with having fixed terminals at Haldiye, Farakka and Patna and floating terminals at most of the riverside sites like Kolkata, Bhagalpur, Varanasi and Allahabad. It is being the longest national waterways in India. So this is the National Waterway 1. Next, National Waterways 2. It is a stretch on Brahmaputra river from Shadia from here to Dhubri in Assam state to still extends to near in Assam state Dhubri. So this National Waterways 2 is one of the major freight transportation waterways of northeast India and third longest waterways with total length of 891 km. Next, National Waterways 3, or it is called as West Coast Canal. It is located in the Kerala state and runs from Kollam to Kottapuram. It has 205 km long West Coast Canal, in India first waterway with all-time navigation facility. It consists of West Coast Canal, Champakara Canal and Udyagomandal Canal and runs through Kottapuram, Cherthala, Trikunapula Kollam and Alapula. So, next National Waterways 4. It connected from Kakinada to Pondicherry through canals, Tank and River Godavari along with the Krishna River. The National Water 4, the second longest waterway of India with total length of 1095 km in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Next, it connects also Kakinada and Puducherry as we saw earlier. Our next topic is National Waterway 5. So, it connects Odisha to West Bengal using the stretch on Brahmani River, East Coast Canal and Mata River and Mahanadi River Delta. So, that's all from National Waterway 5. Next, National Waterway 6. It is proposed waterway in Assam state and will connect Lahipur to Banga. Lahipur to Banga in the river of Barak. The 121 kilometer long waterway will help in trading between town of Silchar and Mizoram state. So that's all from our today's topic. To read this document, you can visit our website. Our website link have been provided in the description. To get more daily current affairs videos, follow our YouTube channel, also our Telegram channel. Thank you.